It's very important for communities to understand our genes do not work in a vacuum. They always only ever do what they do in a given environment. So we've got to turn back and look very carefully at the environments that we live in and how they are built, how they are structured to create inequity.
I live in a community with limited access to growing food. I'm still marginalized because of the color of my skin. I need to be actively engaging on breaking down those barriers and working on some of the injustices that I see.
You don't really have to look very far to see the relationship between cultural genocide and diabetes. The boarding schools took Native children away from their families. And in my grandma's case, they took her, cut her hair, reprimanded her for speaking Choctaw. The trauma that occurs as a result of that is well documented in terms of producing all kinds of negative health outcomes. Diabetes is the tip of the iceberg.
Statistics show that rural communities have a higher incidence of diabetes than more of a metropolitan area. And one of the reasons that surprised me was because there's not enough education out there to actually tell people something that I take for granted.
Looks like cucumber.
I had a patient yesterday who had never, he nor his wife had ever had a zucchini. I've been going into their home for 8 months. So yesterday they had zucchini for the first time. So that's kind of exciting to me. On high for 4 to 6 hours.
Diabetes runs in my family through my mother's side. Her mother had it, her sister had it as well, and then my mother has it too. And now my older sister has it as well. When I think about like ending the cycle of diabetes, it's always gonna be my family.
Diabetes is definitely a family affair. Food is at the center of our social gatherings, of our celebrations. I think it would be, honestly, not only impossible, but irresponsible to ask someone to totally forget about their traditions and their foods.